Hello, my name is Hidekuni or Hide, and welcome back to my channel. I'm a creative being and I have a bunch of things to do actually. Today is the 1st of December, which means, first of all, today Dokumi applications open up and I have to apply. And that's very stressful because I try to have all the information ready because once it opens, the server might be overloaded because so many artists want to apply for Dokumi because it's like the biggest artist alley we have here in Europe, and it's no surprise that so many artists will use it right the moment it opens. That's one of the things I have to do today, and the applications open up in 2.5 hours, so I still got some time to do other things. I will also record the voiceover for this video, which is the previous video of this one, so if you're curious about how I paint this and have some information about it and the sad story behind it, feel free to go check it out. Like, it would mean a lot to me. Then again, it's a sad topic and I don't want to overload you with sadness, so you can also stick around here and we continue with our convention preparations. The convention I will be going to is WeihNerdsMarkt, and it's a pretty cute little convention around here, and I don't have to prepare that much. Like, I still have some of my things from Facts. I also ordered charms and stickers and stocked up some things, but that package will not be here in time, I think. Yet I don't rely on it, so I'm not that sad. I'm not bothered by it. Like, if it arrives, it arrives. If not, then not. That's what it is. I still have enough stickers and such. I'm just out of some charms. As usual, I will go through my buttons and see what I can stock up if anything is missing and make new buttons. And for the rest, I just have what I have. One thing I did do in the last days, I cut out this Linoprint and I was like, oh, I can make some prints, like self-made prints of this one, and also make some patches. So I will make some of these today, and then tomorrow I will create my setup for my patches, which is sewing some fabric into the right shape and then being able to put it on my booth on like the wall, like on one side, and just put them on with some safety pins, and whenever I want to display them I just have to roll it up and it's just as good to go, which makes it much easier and aesthetically pleasing, which I think is great. So I hope that works out, and that's something I do tomorrow. A thing I already did today though is I went shop, and by shopping I mean I went to my beloved artist store and grabbed some things. Something that has nothing to do with the convention is these acrylics. It's the primary colors which I need, and I thought it would be nice to have them because so far I only had the magenta one because it's my favorite color and I use it like for everything somehow, especially for personal things and for my artist identity. And yeah, like, Hidekuni is literally magenta and black, so favorite color. I had to have it, so I got these now. Now I can mix any color of existence. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful about art? You can do whatever you want and create colors. Another thing I got is these spatulas. I call them spatulas now. I don't know if they are spatulas in English, but I got these because I need them for another art project, which I hopefully film because it's also something bigger. It's actually a series of paintings for an art gallery, and I'm trying out new things I have never done before, and that's why I needed them and got them already, so I don't have to worry about them. And yes, this might also be the reason why I got the acrylics in the first place, because like that I can mix all the colors I need and I don't have to go buy any color I want in a tube. I can just mix them, which is great. But yes, a big project is coming up, so I hope I can focus on that in the next few weeks and take you along, because I think it might be very interesting to see it. Also because I have no idea how this will turn out. I have no idea how it will look like at the end and if it will work in the first place. So yes. And then I got this. It's a pad with papers. I got this paper for this lino cut. It's a lino cut. I'm always amazed when I find the words mid-sentence and I just stop talking and like, it's that. But yes, I got this paper for this lino cut, and the paper is slightly bigger than the lino card because then I have some white border. And yes, I will make these today before applying for Dokumi and have them because I think I really like this. And it's a crow with 2 eyes because crows are super cute, also are ravens, and eyes are creepy, and I love that. And I created it recently. I didn't film it because I wasn't bothered to set up the camera and film it, especially because I was doing it while playing League of Legends, and that would be a very weird kind of video to edit, and it would be bothersome and too much work. So I didn't film it, but here is the Linoprint, and I already test printed it and put it into my sketchbook. So here you will see my sketchbook, and since I have the spread already open, this is the lino print I will do. And on this side, that's the project I plan on doing, like the big project for the art gallery. So it's about shoes and might be a bit weird, but let's see. I will also talk more about it once I get to it and want to create it, and will think of it anyways. Because now picking up the topic would be too much for this video and it would be an overkill and just too random, I feel. Let's get started with these and do as I did for the last convention, step by step, because I think that's the easiest. Let's see if this worked out better. I don't get it though. I don't know why though. Let's see if that works better from this side, because now having the lino cut on the paper didn't work out, but maybe putting the paper on the lino cut works out better. Let's see. If you wonder why it went so fast, now my camera wasn't recording. It's a bit frustrating because I recorded so much. Like I unpacked the paper and I deassembled some of the paper, like I got some of the paper from the pad and I put the color around, which I think was very aesthetically pleasing. But here we are trying to figure it out and having somewhat of a hard time because I never did that, so I have no idea if the paper is the right thing, if I apply the color correctly, if something is missing. Like, we are testing this out together. Like, I'm doing it and you're watching me and you're hopefully sharing for me because I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's see. But this looks better. Oh, this already looks much better than the first two. Like, this is now number 3. This was the first one. And this was the second one, and this is the worst. But number 3 now turned out very well. So apparently putting the paper on is the best result so far. Like, I could also look things up and how to do it and what works well, and I partially did, but I cannot be bothered to look up more or like what I could change now, because I am a bit stubborn and I like to just test things out and see how they work, and I want to succeed on my own. Number 4. We first press it with the book, so it's a bit even, and we take our time to do so. And then I press it everywhere a bit with my fingers. Oh, this is not in the middle, not at all. Oh, but also looks good. Like the print quality got better. I also try to orient myself with the grid I have on the other side, so maybe that helps. Oh, it does. So let's see how this one turns out now. Slowly but surely I'm getting there. Like, if I fail tonight, that's what it is. Because not everything you try will turn out good. Especially not the first time. So we shall see. Like, of course I will be a bit frustrated because I want to have this for the con, but if not, that's what it is, and then I have to look things up and see what I can do better and what I'm doing wrong, because I surely do something wrong if I get such results, and I have to get a feel for it. But it's okay to fail. It is what it is. Let's see. This is now number 5. Somewhat. And I think it looks super cool though. We are getting there. I try to rescue this one by putting it on again. Let's see how this one will turn out now. Like, some people do it with a machine, so they have like all this pressure on there in one go, and they cost quite some money, so I have no idea how much of a difference it would make to have such a thing. Like, I wouldn't get one now just for doing this, because I don't linoprint very often and this is my first try, so there is no point in me right away getting a machine unless I would plan on only doing linoprints, or at least a bunch of them. So I wonder how much of a difference it makes. Like, it surely does make a difference, or else people wouldn't get these machines. However, I wonder if it's like, if I would apply more pressure, if it would work better. Like, that's what I'm wondering. Then again, I don't have the means right now to apply more pressure, so I try things around. Because the one in my sketchbook turned out great, so I wonder what I did different now. Although I don't want to lift it from the paper, I want to lift the paper from it. Yeah, that helped. Looks better now. Let's try this again. Not 100%, but we shall see. Yes, that looks pretty cool. Of course, there's a hair of me stuck there, which is not good. Let's get some more color on here. And since I got these spatulas, I can actually also use them for this right now, which I didn't even think of, but I was like, oh, what a coincidence. That's actually very pleasant. Also, that's the kind of color I use. It's lino color. And yeah, first the book, which is, by the way, a sketchbook I still have to fill, and so many sketchbooks I have to fill. But my current sketchbook is almost full, which is great, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I am filling it up rather quickly compared to what I usually need to fill up a sketchbook. And I also use different kind of mediums. It's very colorful, it's very full. Back then, like, my last sketchbooks still looked very empty, which was a bit frustrating for me. So I took care to fill this one up a lot, and whenever I had something to put inside, I just glued it inside or drew it inside. And so far, I'm so happy how it's turning out. There are 20 more pages left, which I have to fill up, and then a bunch I have to finish. But I hope that I will finish it within the next 4 months. I think that would be a reasonable amount of time to fill it, because I don't actively work on it, and I usually just draw in it whenever I go out or have nothing else to do. But I have a bunch of other things to do, especially since I didn't manage to work on some things in the last few weeks because I wasn't feeling well. So I am looking forward to fill up the sketchbook and also to in general get going with my normal tasks. This is somewhat in the middle, not quite, but somewhat. This turned out very well, like, very happy about this one. Nice. I think I wasn't having enough color at the end now, but now I put some new one on, and damn, I really like this one. I failed some, but I am slowly also getting a feel for it. I also apply it much slower now because I had to feel by doing it fast that I might remove some again, so I just take my time now. Don't be so rushed. Let's see if that is better or worse now. Wow, I think this is the best print so far. Let me turn it like this for once because I only turn it towards me. But I really like how this is coming out. Also, I managed to get it much more into the center of the paper, and oh my god, I'm so happy. See, I failed at first, now it's going better. So I have at least 2 good ones from 10. But oh well. Number 7. I think one of my biggest problems in general is that I always try to do it fast instead of taking my time and doing it step by step. Like I like to rush things, and I have no patience at times, which is not good. But now I have found my rhythm, and now it works. Ta-da! What I really like about Linoprints is that each individual print has its own charm, and I think that's just so great. Yes, happy how this one turned out. I printed now all my Linos, and now I'm just picking them up. I put my name down on the bottom, and I packed them in some sleeves so they are not getting damaged and they are safe. Just the same process as I do with my zines, to be sure and safe. That's what I will do now, and then I will proceed to stamp some patches with the same design. For my patches I use Textile Plus, which is a fabric color, and I use a little sponge. With this I can apply the color very easily right onto the lino cut, and I can also apply the color right from the container and don't need to use multiple tools, which makes it very easy to get this work done. Once the lino cut is completely covered in paint, like at least the areas I need to print, I push it right onto the fabric and use the same technique as I used for the lino prints, for the paper ones, to apply the color right onto the fabric. And I keep the lino cut right on it just to be able to properly cut the patch out, because its size are perfect guidelines. Like that, I don't mess it up and I get a somewhat straight shape out of it. Yet it's also perfect to keep some extra space around the print so people can adjust it to their liking and have enough fabric to actually sew it down. So it's now the day after, it's the 2nd of December, and I managed to yesterday finish all my lino prints, which I already packed, and my patches, which I have already ironed, so the color sticks and it's waterproof and wash machine proof, although you shouldn't wash them above 30 degrees because they're very sensitive still, so you have to be careful with them and not wash them too warm, preferably hand wash. But yes, if my voice sounds weird, I'm getting sick and I can hear my own voice very differently, so I think it also sounds for other people very different. But I'm getting sick, which is not great, especially not for tomorrow. But I have things to do, so here we are. My current plan is to put a big fabric on one of my sides, which I then can use to attach my patches with safety pins on. So I have to now cut out that piece of fabric, sew the edges, and also sew either 2 or 4 little pockets on the back side so I can put magnets in, and that will be more than enough for it to hold, hopefully. So I have my wire shapes, which I will use as a measurement, and now I will just put everything on the floor and then roughly cut it and then sew it. And it should not be a big project, it still takes some time, but it has to get done. So let's go. That's my workspace now. It's not the best, but we do what we can. So my wire shapes are 4 of these high, but I only need 3 by 2 because also my booth is too wide, like too deep. So I only need 3 by 2, and that's the size I need for my piece of fabric plus a bit more. And I had this fabric laying around because it's the fabric I also use for my patches, but I think it's the best to use because it's a bit thicker. And I can always, if I would change the piece of fabric, use the piece of fabric, which will be this one, to create new patches, so it's not lost. Maybe a bit more. Here it is. I have sewn each side together so it is fixed and it looks somewhat clean, and I didn't have black thread, so I was like, oh, I can't hide it. So instead of hiding it, just show it, and I used white one on one side, black on the other, because the machine still had black on the bottom side in. And then on the top I didn't sew this together, but I just folded it and then sewed the sides closed, and like this I have this pocket. So is it perfectly sewn? Totally not. Does it suit my brand? Absolutely, because I'm a mess. I improvise things, I use things I find, I just do what I can with the things I have, because I think that's the charm of it, and it makes it very personal, and no one has this. I have it, and that's great. And I'm just a messy artist, and my art is messy, and I want my art to look messy. I don't want it to look perfect. So Also, my display shall be very DIY, very patchy, very messy, very put together, you know? Because there's no point in making everything perfect. No one is perfect. The next thing I have to do is I have to finish a convention commission, and while I draw this one for tomorrow, I will talk about all the things I've done now and what I still have to do, and also about how the applications for Dokumi went yesterday. Well, first of all, I now finished my Lino prints and my patches. I like how they turned out, and I hope people will like them. It's not the first time I will have this design, since I just recently finished this Lino cut, and I like how it turned out. It's the first time I will have Lino prints on my booth, and I'm very excited about how people will react to them. Then I also went through my buttons now, and the last convention was Facts, and since I didn't sell many there, I don't really have to restock on my buttons. I will if my boyfriend decides to restock some of his buttons, because then I will just fill a sheet up, because I really don't need more than 16 buttons, to be honest. Like, there are like some designs, like my 5-9 Freddy's buttons where I have only 4 left of Freddy, or like my Crowley buttons from Good Omens where I still have 5, but I have mostly all my buttons and I don't have to restock on them, to be fair. Regarding buttons, I don't have much work, which is very pleasant, because I'm feeling still sick. I'm drinking a bunch of tea to keep my throat open and my nose and all, and it's not really working right now. I don't like not hearing my own voice. It's so weird. Like, I really try to speak, but I'm not sure if I speak loud enough or not. So I hope this is alright. Then I finished my fabric display for my patches, and I was looking for them and I couldn't find them, which is a bit troublesome. Like, I have no idea where all my patches are. Like, the patches I have in stock to sell, I have, because they're on the same spot, but I can't find the patches I usually use to display on my booth, which is not only the patches I let print at the company, so which I have multiple times and have some, like the rest is in stock. No, when I do my own patches with my Lino cuts, I usually have all of these patches displayed, because, how I said, each print turns out differently, so I have them usually all laying on my booth, so people can choose which one they want. But since I consciously didn't put them back on their usual spot where I store them for my cons, I can't find them back. I have no idea where they are. So what I hope is that tomorrow, when I set up my table, I by coincidence find them, so I can put them on the fabric. That would be really, really nice. The thing is, if I won't find them, that means I've put them where I can't easily find them, or I have lost them, which would be a bummer. Like, it would be awful, because it's still a bunch of patches I have, and I have 2 really big ones, and it would be stupid that if I would have lost them. So I hope I haven't lost them, and that they're just somewhere and I can't find them. On the other hand, I could already put them onto the fabric and wouldn't have to worry about it, and wouldn't lose the time tomorrow. But I can't really be bothered about it, because, as I said, I'm sick and I take things easy. Then again, since I have most of my patches in stock, I can just use new ones to display, but I just hope I find them. Like, it's so much extra work. For the rest of the day, I just have to get all the things down and then into the car, and then we can drive to the con tomorrow. And I have to later on go shop, because I like to have my sandwiches from the store and some snacks and some drinks, so I don't have to spend that money on conventions. Like, I don't have to spend money for food at conventions, because usually it's more expensive. Although I think tomorrow, since it's a nerdy Christmas market, I don't think the prices will be horrendous, so I think that will still be alright. but I just go shop some later at the supermarket and I will be safe and now I have my food with. As you can see me right now, I'm drawing this commission because I offer convention sketches, and I have one friend who always, whenever they are to con I am, they come by, they give me one of their characters or one character from a franchise, and they're just like, yep, draw that for me please. And it's so consistent that I already know that tomorrow, when they will be there, they will also come ask me for a new convention sketch, which I'm very excited about, and I'm very thankful and happy they come by each time. And it got already so much that nowadays I get the character at the con and I can just take the commission with home and draw it until we see us at the next convention. And it's just a lot of fun drawing for them because they have super cool characters and overseas. And this one is a drow, and drows are super cool. It's one of my favorite races in D&D. I love drows, I love their aesthetics, I love their society, I just love their whole vibe. And this character just looks like the sweetest baby, and I just love that mix with drow. It's just perfect. So I hope they like it and that I could make them happy. Also, talking about conventions, yesterday was the 1st of December, and yesterday evening at 8 o'clock the Dokumi applications opened for artists, and they have around 750 slots open for artists. And let me tell you, but this was insane. It took me half an hour to get my application through. I was sitting at my computer and my boyfriend was sitting at his computer in Discord calling because we both tried to get our table through. Like, we both applied with the same table because we will take 2 tables together and then share them. And it took us half an hour to get through because their server, their page, kept crashing over and over and over. So we constantly had to go one page back, reload it, and hope to get through. And I just hope that we made it in time because Dokumi has this system where 1/3 is chosen by them, 1/3 is pulled by luck, and the last third is the first people that applied. So first comes, first serves. So I hope we were in the amount of people that came first so that we would be guaranteed a table. I think our application came through by 2028, so it took us almost now half an hour, which is awful. Like, why don't you have bigger servers to get through? Like, why don't you provide it, knowing that many artists want to apply? Like, apparently last year they had around 3,000 applications for 750 something spots, which is insane because it's the biggest artist alley we have in Europe. And from what I hear now is that apparently the 1/3 of first comes first serves was full by 2033, which is 5 minutes after we came through. And I just hope that we made it. That would be super cool because I wasn't this year at Dokumi, because I didn't make it because I applied too late, like so late. Like, I wasn't surprised that they didn't take me because I was just too late. But the 3 years previously, I went to that convention and I really loved it. I really like Dokumi as an artist, so I hope they take us this year, like for next year. That would be wonderful. Also to see some people back because many people recognize me at Dokumi, and that makes me very happy, and I want to see them back. Like, I miss them. Like, I have 2 people that always come to me at Dokumi for Conhorn entry, and I love it. I hope everything goes well. It's not a big con, but I still hope that I will make around $200. That would be great. That's what I'm hoping for. For the prices for that convention, for this Christmas market, we had to pay, I think, 26 euros per table. So we took 2, so we had for 52. And that's a very pleasant price. So I don't have as many expenses for that event, like the 26 euros for the table, then the gas, which I think will be around $20-30 divided by 2, so it will be around 10-15 euros. And then some food, like I will not get much, so I will have expenses around 50 euros, and that's why I hope I will get like 100-200 euros in. That would be wonderful. If I'm not updating today anymore, I will update you tomorrow. See you. And we see, oh, this works well, perfect. So I'm at the convention now. It's Sunday morning. We arrived here. It was pretty cold, so that's why I have a blanket with me and such. And I now managed to set up my table, and I also found my patches back there. Here they are. I was so blind yesterday, but I was also so sick yesterday, so I'm not surprised I didn't find them, but they were literally under my buttons, which I used to present at my table. So they were underneath there, and I usually never put them there, but I had no space and I was stressed in fact, so I had to put them there, and now I found them. But I now still took other patches which I hung up, and I hope they do it. What is it? Wait. Oh my god, this is so cute. Look at him! A pancake!
You have to take rotten ricey then.
Yes, I will. Look at this baby.
That's my son.
Look at this baby. I love this artwork so much, and I want to have it, but
If you make enough money, you can buy it.
I can. But for that I have to make money. So, here's my booth. And I have to still put this back, because this belongs to the back, and it's also the patches I found now. Yeah, I found them just now under my buttons, and here are my safety pins, which I used to put other patches from the stock on this piece of fabric, and it works super well. I really like it. Like here you can see, or not, here you can see how I just print them down. I also secured it here once more, and on the other side it just goes over the wire shelf, and I have here some magnets inside, because here I have this little pouch where the magnet is in here and back there, and it's just holding onto the wire shelves, which is great, and I really like it. And like that, when the convention is done, I can just roll it up and store it, and it saves so much time, because each time I set up I have to repin the buttons. Luckily I don't have to do this each time now, nor do I have to do this each time, which is such time saver, especially because I always need so long to get all the wire shelves set up, because I need around 2 hours to set everything up each time, and this will save now a lot of time. And since I also found my patches back now, I also have these now, because these were the ones missing, because these are self-made, like I print them myself, and I'm happy I have them, so they will just be laying here. As I say, this goes to the back, and then I have to see what I put here. And I have here my 2 zins, and yes, that's it so far. Also I have here my new Linoprints, which I think turned out great, and then still some originals. And here's a photo which I back then forgot for facts, because I have some of my prints in here, because these are the prints I don't sell very often, so I didn't have that, and was a bit of a mess and sad that I didn't have it, but oh well. Hello.
Hello.
Pretty. He's dressed now. Oh my god, hello baby.
How are you so in love with him?
I'm so... Also he has my little plant here, because he's a herbologist.
You have matching bracelets.
I have a goblin.
You don't have it on.
I don't have it on.
Slut.
How did you call me?
Slut.
Fair enough. So it's time to pack up. We are done with the con. It was from 11 till 6, and don't look at me when I do that.
Why?
Because of the judge.
You look adorable when you
I see. And I just rolled up my patch display, and it was the best thing I did and made, because it takes so less time. Just like take it off, roll it together. It's great. I love it. Having just one day convention is somehow frustrating because I put all the effort in setting everything up, in making it all pretty, and now I have to put it off again, and it's so frustrating. Like, one day conventions are very easy cheesy and I just love it. It's like chill, but it took me 2.5 hours or so this morning, and now I have to destroy everything within 1 hour or so, and yeah. But for the rest, the convention went great, and I will talk more about it at home. But I really like this convention. It's local, people are super nice, and it's just a chill convention at the end of the year, because December there are not many conventions during winter and like at the end of the year, and so that's very pleasant, and I enjoy it, and it's just so lovely. It's great. If you're around, come to Völkling to WeihNerdsMarkt. That's great. Also, I just love this print, and there have many people that bought it. Let me quickly set up the camera, because I have normal daylight and the sun came out, so I should take use of that and have a proper video with proper light in it, because the last one I messed up a bit, because I used my LEDs in the background, and I read up after I have seen it the FPS and LEDs don't work as well together, so I have to check that out. But I can't change settings on my phone because I'm recording with my phone. I'm just a mess with technology and all that, so I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I never do, to be fair, but I have to look into that. I have to eventually look into a proper camera one day. I don't know. I enjoy filming so far. I hope you do too, because after all, you're watching it somehow. You're still here, so why are you still here if you don't like it? But yeah, let's talk about WeihNerdsMarkt and how it went, because I didn't do that for the last 1.5 weeks, because it's the 14th of December, so it was like 11 days ago. But yeah, I didn't have the time. I was recording and editing my last video, which took some time. Like, I was crying a lot, but I'm feeling much better already, and I'm getting back to my rhythm. For context, the convention was in a sports hall in Völklingen, which is in Saarland, Germany, and it was for one day, and it was on a Sunday. And keep in mind, public transport on Sundays is awful, so that's always risky for events on Sundays, that people don't really get there because they are relying on public transport, and public transport doesn't drive as often, or not at all, depending on where you're from. First of all, great atmosphere. I loved the atmosphere. It was so cozy, it was so warm, all the people were chill and friendly, and I just loved it. Also, the visitors were like so sweet. I talked so much with other people and also other artists, and it was just such a nice vibe. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it much more than last year. In general, I will talk a lot about last year, this year. I like to compare to previous events to see if I did better, if I did worse, what have changed, what were the changes of the convention, and so on. Also to let you know about such things. Only because you went once to a con doesn't mean it can't change. And that's very important to keep in mind. Something I really enjoyed for the atmosphere, when I was building up my table, so it was before the convention opened, someone was playing super loud heavy metal music, and that's just my vibe. So I was like vibing while building up my booth, and it was just so cool and great, and I loved it. I was like, already it brought me in such a great mood. And then afterwards, of course, they had Christmas music, but it wasn't too loud, it was very pleasant, and it was not too much. Like, for me, I love it. It was just great. Overall, just a very chill Sunday. Then there were so many other artists. Like, the artist alley was huge. I have no idea if it was as huge last year, maybe around the same size, but I think 1/3 of the hall were artists, at least, and I love it. I really enjoy when conventions push the artists, have a lot of artists there, and don't only offer merchants to be there and sell to the people. Like, I think it's very supportive of conventions if they have many artists, and it's also an opportunity for visitors and people who are there to have the possibility to buy from artists, because elsewise you need an online store or such, and not every artist has that. It's a lot of work. Like, I'm currently working on one, and it's so much work, and I'm freaking out. But I love it. The artist alley is also organized by an artist, so they know what an artist needs, what in general an artist alley needs, and I think that's wonderful. Like, artist alley, great, many artists, I loved it. Besides that, of course, they had other merchants, but they also had board games and entertainment, and even someone reading out loud for children and all that. So they also had a program for children or younger people, which is also super cool, and they also had food. So overall, it was a really well organized event for one day. For my table, I really enjoy how my table looked like. I managed to get everything on there. I had my new setup with the patches, which worked great. I also found my patches back when I was setting up my buttons, which I usually do first, but somehow I ended up doing them last that day. I love my new patch setup. At the end of the con, I just had to roll it in, and it was so cool. And I just think it brings my table more and more together. In the future, I want to make some more changes. I have to buy some more things, change some more things, prepare some more things, and then see where it is going. But I am changing my total vibe of the table from table of curiosities, which is very classic and posh, and what do I know? Although I'm not very posh. But it's a vibe I wanted to go for, okay? I had ideas. To just Hidekuni, which is a messy ghost, because Hidekuni is a ghost. Yeah. But we are going there. We will mess it up. I promise. Then the convention before WeihNerdsMarkt was facts, and that's when I got my boards with my charms. And I had to set them up at Airbnb, so I didn't have all my things stand here and there. And so I couldn't finish them 100%, and people all the time got the charms off the boards, which was a bit bothersome. And I tried it out again at the WeihNerdsMarkt now with these boards, and the same thing happened. So I noticed I have to somehow fix them. In general, I have this whole board idea from another artist here on YouTube, and I will put a picture here because I cannot remember names at all. So that's the artist I have that idea from, and kindly stole. But that artist also put some hot glue on the board itself, on the hooks for the charms, so they can get taken off, and I have to do the same. And I did it now these days, so my boards are done, and now people don't easily detach the charms from the board, so that's very pleasant. And yeah, that was the only thing I noticed on my table for the convention, and I'm very happy how it turned out, and that I now fixed that. And then for the next convention, which is by surprise in 2 days, so I will also be filming another video in the next 2 days and following days. So yeah, for that con it will be ready, and I'm very excited already. I will probably also talk more about that convention later, because it's very interesting and important for WeihNerdsMarkt as well, because I will do something, a comparison, to be fair. But as I was talking, I also wanted to compare this year's edition of WeihNerdsMarkt to last year's edition. And one big thing I noticed, the atmosphere was much better this year. Maybe it's because I had another spot. I felt last year I was sitting very far away from other artists and the artist alley, and I feel detached from the artist alley, which was a bit sad last year. But now seeing this year went so much better in that regard. I just felt much more welcomed and built in, like I was part of it, and that was just such a great thing. So I like this year much more in that regard as well. And it also shows how important your sitting position is, because it can have such a big influence, not only on your sales, but also on how you feel. This year they also had many more cosplayers. Not only I noticed, but also a friend of mine who was there as a visitor noticed that there were so many more cosplayers, and she came to me and was like, oh, last year there weren't as many cosplayers, and I felt very awkward last year in cosplay, so I decided to not come in cosplay this year. And then she arrived there this year, and saw so many cosplayers that she felt a bit awkward out of cosplay now. But that's also wonderful that people are more involved in cosplaying and appearing there in cosplay, and that I think is also a sign that the convention grew with their visitors, and that many more people are aware of that event, know about that event, are coming there, and also putting the effort in getting into cosplay and building up this community. Again, wonderful. But yeah, as I said, I enjoyed my seating spot this time much more. I was also closer to the entrance. I was within the artist alley because last year I didn't feel like it. It was my personal feel about it. Maybe that was still part of the artist alley, but I didn't really feel it. But this year I was like sitting in the middle of it, so that was super cool, and I had my friends around, so I enjoyed it. I loved it. So just talking about the convention, I enjoyed this year much more, and I hope that if they take me again next year, that the atmosphere will just be the same or even grow more and has the same vibe. So I'm really looking forward for WeihNerdsMarkt next year. Of course, I'm an artist that sells art, so how did I do at the convention? First of all, the convention is not expensive at all. Like, the table costs 26 euros, which I think is a wonderful price for a cute little table at a local con. Like, they still get their money in, and it's not too expensive that you have to make high sales to get in the table costs. Like, 26 euros for a table that size, more than fair. Me driving there, it took like 40 minutes because, as I said, it's local. 40 minutes driving for me is the local for convention, and I took my boyfriend along, so we split the gas costs, and that's like 750 for me or so. It's really not much. And then some food, so I didn't even spend 50 bucks. Like, let's say I spent 50 bucks on the whole convention to get there, to sustain myself, and to pay the table. So let's start comparing. Last year I made sales of 125 euros, which was very frustrating. I was very sad, and it was not lucrative in my opinion for me. This year though, I made 392 euros in sales, which is more than double. So counting off the 50 bucks, it's like 342, and that's wonderful for one day con. I love it. Wonderful, great experience, more than worth it for me. And that's why I like to go back to local conventions, because they don't cost much, they are close by, you meet new people that are usually living close by around you, also other artists, and as long as you don't make a loss, I think it's great to just continue going there and eventually grow and hope that you grow. Also, you don't only grow on yourself as an artist, but you also grow with the convention. People will recognize you the following years, people will grow to you, and it's just like you establish yourself as an artist locally at cons. And I think that's very important. Why, as I said, as long as you don't make loss, go there. Especially if you also go with other people you know and you like, or with friends and here and there. Overall, like, WeihNerdsMarkt, great convention for this year, and also a great convention towards the end of the year, because most conventions are during summer, and summer is very busy. WeihNerdsMarkt was also my second last convention now, and as I said, the next one is in 2 days, and that will be my last one, which will be Proud Nerd Convention in Trier. And I have a few expectations for that convention. Why, you might ask? Well, first of all, WeihNerdsMarkt and Proud NerdCon are somehow very similar. It's a one-day event, it's at the end of the year. It's having the same kind of vibe because it's both Christmas markets, conventions, and they are very close together in time, like they are 2 weeks apart. So of course I wonder if I will now make the same amount of money, if it will have the same vibe. How will it be? It's the first time they have that event, because they started this year with Proud Nerd Convention at the start of the year, and now with the Christmas edition, which is only one day at the end of the year. So they are very new still. But for example, Proud Nerd Convention is on a Saturday, which has usually better public transport. They are also in Trier itself, which is a bigger city. Völklingen for WeihNerdsMarkt isn't too small, I think. And it's very close to Saarbrücken, which is another bigger city. But as I said, it's on a Sunday, the public transport. And also it wasn't close to stores or such. It was a sports hall a bit far away from the main station. while the Proud Nerd Convention event will be in the main center of Trier, where all the shopping stores are and people walk usually at here and there. Like, it's much more local and in the center of the city. On a Saturday when all the shops are open and many people go out because it's before Christmas, people go Christmas shopping, they go look for things and here and there. I don't even know if WeihNerdsMarkt had an entry fee for visitors, and if they had it, how high it is. But from what I heard, I think the entry fee for Proud NerdCon is 25 euros. If that's not the right number, I will put it there. I will look it up once I've added this. But this is the amount of money for the entrance fee, which I think is high, and for one day might be too high and might keep some people away. So I wonder how this convention will be like and how it will go and what I shall expect from it. So I'm a bit worried that I will end up below what I got at WeihNerdsMarkt, and it would be a bit frustrating because I have high expectations, and yes, so we shall see. But to leave it on a good note, WeihNerdsMarkt is so cute. Check out your local Christmas conventions because they are cute little gems and you shall go there. I'm so glad I filmed this now without expecting it, just because the sun came out, but it's now gone again, so it's now very dark again. Oh well, filming in winter is hard because I don't have any proper lights, so yes. But yes, I will be editing this now. Then I already started, in fact. I stopped editing just to record this now, so I can export it to my PC and keep editing this, so this one comes out anytime soon. I don't really have an upload schedule, so you get something when I have something. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know down in the comments, and we shall see us again in the next video. So have a nice day or night wherever you are. Bye bye. I'm just in a good mood, I think. I'm so proud of me doing this. I'm doing great. Bye bye.